Every Tuesday on the Happy Families podcast, we answer your tricky questions. You can send tricky questions to us via happyfamilies.com.au. There's a simple super system. It's easier to use than it is to say by the sounds of things. A super simple system at happyfamilies.com.au where you can scroll down, click the record button and start talking. Tell us what's on your mind. We love answering questions about pretty much anything at all. And today we've got another one of your tricky questions. We'll answer that next. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast where you get real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast. We're Justin and Kylie Coulson, the parents of 6 kids, grandparents to 1 grandbaby. We've been through it. We're currently going through the teen years with our 5th child. She's 16. We've got a 12-year-old. We've got a 12-y. We have years of experience, and our granddaughter is reminding us what it's like to have a toddler again because she's 2.5. Kylie, somebody has sent us a voice note with a question. Here it comes. Let's check this out.
Hi, my name's Sam. I'm just inquiring as to how you ensure with an ADHD child when reducing sugar intake that you're also not setting the child up for, I suppose, unhealthy anxiety regarding weight, especially in a girl. I listened to your podcast this morning regarding ensuring children have positive outlooks regarding their weight, but I also am mindful when reducing her sugar intake as it helps her behaviour to not create anxiety or more surrounding that.
Okay, so I'm going to jump in first, Kylie. I know you've got a whole bunch of stuff that you scribbled down as we were listening there. I just want to highlight the desire to be hot, and I'm using the word intentionally because when I did my book, Misconnection, Why Your Teenage Daughter Hates You, Expects the World, and Needs to Talk, that was precisely the language that everybody was using when they were talking to me about body image issues. It's primarily a female thing. Over the last few years, there's been a slight shift. Boys are now more worried about it than girls in terms of this looks maxing movement. But basically, this is an ongoing challenge, neurodiversity or not. The World Health Organization conducted a survey of more than 200,000 people, nearly 250,000 people in 42 countries. And in every single country surveyed, girls at age 15 were more likely than boys to report that they were fat. Get this, even though the girls were saying that they were the ones that were carrying too much weight, the boys were actually more likely to be overweight. In other words, gender predicts who's going to feel fat much better than it predicts who's going to be carrying that additional weight. So Sam's question is really a question, I think, about body image. It's a question about physical health, and it's a question that vexes parents of daughters in ways that we don't encounter it to the same level and in the same way with boys.
Sam's asking a few questions here. Right. She wants to be able to utilize the limitation of sugar intake to help modify behavior, but she's also concerned that in doing so, she creates a body image issue. For me, there's actually a really simple response to that. When we have these conversations with our children, this is not about behavior modification. This is not about a weight issue. This is about a well-being issue.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well. I wrote down four things. Like, this might be the shortest podcast that I've ever done because this is kind of all I've got. Focus on physical activity, not weight. Focus on nutritious food, not weight. Focus on minimizing screens, not weight. Focus on getting enough sleep, making sure that sleep's healthy.
It's a holistic change. It's not about one child.
Yeah, it's the whole family.
Like in our home, we have recognized that we actually feel better as individuals when we limit our sugar intake. Yep. It's not about, for some of us, it is a weight loss journey, but that's not what the focus is. The focus is, how do I want to feel? I want to feel vibrant. I want to feel vital. I want to feel strong. And if I want those things, then it's being aware of how different foods or different activities impact those feelings.
Yeah, how do we feel? It's as simple as saying, let's actually stay off processed stuff this week and just do an experiment. And then at the end of the week, we're going to go and have a little bit of a party and we'll buy a whole lot of processed food and eat a whole lot of junky stuff. We'll have some donuts and we'll have some hot chips and whatever else. And at the end of it, you just say, how'd that feel? Like, as it was going in, how'd it feel? Amazing. How'd it feel 5 minutes later, an hour later, that night? And as the kids start to have that recognition, then you start to have conversations about how you want to construct your family's health habits, lifestyle, dietary decisions.
So I don't know if we're oversimplifying this for you, Sam, but to me that just seems like the logical response moving forward. It's not about weight. It's not actually even about behavior. It's about well-being and how I want to feel. And when we're dealing with children, they just listen to their brain no matter what it says, and their brain tells them that they want the stuff in the bright coloured glossy papers
the stuff
and
in the packets,
in the packets. And we just need to help them recognise the difference between what it feels like to eat well and what it feels like to not eat well, and help them through that process. Because regardless of whether they have that aha moment, depending on what age they are, they're still going to want to go back. But the idea is that we kind of continue to bring them back to the idea that as a family, we're working towards this. This is how we want to feel.
After the break, I want to build on that. It's really important that we touch a little bit deeper on what you're discussing. And one more key thing that every family needs to know when it comes to making these kinds of lifestyle and health choices, if that's the path you decide to go down. Stay with us. This is the Happy Families podcast. Kylie, I want to really lift off what you've just highlighted. We've discovered in our family, in our own lives, forget the kids, just you and I with our own decisions. These things are not one and done. Like, you do not say, we're going to be healthy and make the commitment and then everything's perfect from that point forward. You will revisit this again and again and again and again before you really start to get traction. Like, this is it's an uphill climb. The second thing that I wanted to add is that we can become really fanatical as parents about it. We can get it in our head that our child can't have sugar, or we're done with processed stuff, or we're going to make sure that there are no more screens. And we get really hardcore about it. And that fanaticism actually creates a whole lot of resistance. It creates a whole lot of tension, a whole lot of fights. And sometimes we set the standard impossibly high for ourselves and for our children. There's no flexibility. I remember I was in the Channel 9 studios one time having a chat with David Campbell. He's I think he's vegan, at least vegetarian. I'm pretty sure he's vegan though. And I asked him what his kids' diet is like. And the words he used literally were, I'm not a fanatic about this. So the kids are allowed to go to parties, eat sugary stuff, have party pies, whatever they want. This is a decision that I've made for me, but I'm not making the decision for the whole family. And I'm just hoping that my children will see my good example and choose over time to interrogate, think through, investigate the food and other health choices that they're making.
We've been working on this with our kids for the last nearly 6 months now. And
like hardcore for the last 6 months. I was going to say the last 16 years.
Yeah.
But yes, properly hardcore for the last 6 months.
And our youngest is by far the one who's most challenged by this.
Oh, yeah.
And
probably fits that profile that Sam's highlighted with her daughter as well.
Yeah. And she loves Nutella. That's her number one spread of choice, but I won't have it in the house. But every now and again, she'll ask if she can make some crepes and can I get her a jar of Nutella. So I buy the smallest jar I can. And the other day when she decided that that's what she wanted to do, she woke up the next morning and she said, Mum, I don't think I want Nutella anymore. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, I made myself some crepes and I had some. And she said, I just didn't feel great and I was on the toilet for a little bit last night, and she said, I just think my body's kind of telling me that this isn't good for me.
I didn't know this story. You haven't shared that with me.
So there's the aha moment.
But how many years? It's been 4 or 5 years.
No. I'm going to let you know that just because we've had an aha moment does not mean by any stretch that we have won the battle. Because that jar of Nutella disappeared very quickly. And
you mean in spite of the insight?
In spite of that insight. Okay. And so that's what I'm kind of suggesting. For some of us, we have to have aha moments often,
right,
in the same area before it finally sinks. But that was a really important aha moment that she's had. And as a result, what it's teaching me is that even though she's still craving the thing that is not making her feel good, she's actually starting to eat with more consciousness. She's actually starting to become aware of how she feels in her body when she's eating certain foods.
Okay. I mean, that's not resonating with what I've been seeing in the last couple of days in the kitchen, but you're having more of these conversations with her than me, and that's really refreshing to hear. So, Sam, there is hope, but it is incremental. oh my goodness, it takes a long time. And just when you think you're making progress, you discover that the progress is not everything that you hoped that it would be. Consistency, hope, conversations, insights, getting the kids to actually endorse the decisions rather than you being the unilateral arbiter who just says, here's how it's going to be. Those are the ideas that we've highlighted, plus those 3 pillars of health: getting enough sleep, getting enough nutrition, and getting enough movement, and minimizing those screens. Good luck. Thanks for the question. If you've got a tricky question, hit us up. podcasts@happyfamilies.com.au. You can send us your voice notes, or go to happyfamilies.com.au. Scroll down to the bit where it says record and start talking. Let us know who you are, where you're from, and what's on your mind. The Happy Families podcast is produced by Justin Rulon from Bridge Media. Mim Hammonds provides our admin and other support. And if you'd like more info to make your family happier, we'd love for you to visit us at happyfamilies.com.au or check out our social pages.